Welcome, welcome, welcome to the State of Civility Summit. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who are chiming in from all around the world. We endeavor to bring you the best and the brightest from all around the world. I'm going to have my co-host, the global world civility leader, to start us off as we do the first State of Civility Summit, as we talk to all industries in the world. We're going to bring some of the best and the brightest leaders that you have ever seen on the scene of civility. Sir Clyde Rivers, how are you today?
I am fantastic. Thank you, Professor Burnett, and thank you for hosting this through Productive Business Civility. You are truly a world leader.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We are super ecstatic. We're excited to be bringing you the first ever State of Civility Summit. Now, let me talk to you a little bit really quickly about what we are going to dive into today. At this particular time, if you are joining us, we are asking you to let us know where you're joining from. That's one. What city, what state, what country you may be joining from. Let us know how you are doing, and then we will begin to get started. This is a time like none other, Dr. Rivers, Sir Clyde Rivers. When I talk about State of Civility Summit, we are bringing civility solutions to our world through civility in action. Can you tell the people, as we get started today, why we decided to do the State of Civility Summit, and who are some of the people that will be on with us today?
Professor Burnett, thank you so much. The reason why the State of Civility is so important for us right now, we are embarking upon something the world has never seen before. They have never seen a global shutdown to where every country in the world is shut down and can't operate and do anything. It's the first of its kind. Now, Dr. Burnett, in the past, there's been civil wars, different race tensions, tribal issues around the world. And when those things happen, what they had to do is this. They had to put the world back together through a model called peace and reconciliation. Okay, so that's been the old model to put the world back together again. But Professor Burnett, in the new model, no one's ever seen a pandemic before. So that peace and reconciliation model is not going to work. Why? Because it wasn't a war. It wasn't a clash. It wasn't tensions. So the only way to put the world back together again is civility in action. And you know what? I felt with all my heart, it's time for the experts of civility in action to come to the table and put our narrative into the information system of the world. We have Dr. Rebecca Harper, Family Civility, one of the great brilliant civility minds of the world is on this panel. Then we have Female Civility. There's one O. Miller, Ona, and when you see Professor Ona Miller, you'll see why I call her O, because she has everything O-O-O-K. She's making an impact in the world. Then we have the global educator of the globe, Professor Michael Pitts, one of the youngest chancellors in the world, and one of the brilliant, innovative minds. And she's created a new concept for education around the world. And then we have Hardball Raymond Harlaw. That guy, civil entrepreneurship. You're going to hear something new today. I'm telling you, people, I am so encouraged. Hardball Raymond Harlaw. That guy, he does it right. Then we have Juma Nation, Dr. Juma Nation out of Nairobi, Kenya. He's our youth civility man around the world. Here it is. It's civility in action. People have civility education, civility this, but civility in action is love and kindness in action. And we don't have the average. We have the best in the world are here with us, Professor Burnett Joseph. And we have you. Wait. No, stop. Hey, I'm not done yet. we have this man is the creator of productive business civility. This man, I'm telling you, I've been around the world. I've seen brilliant people. Dr. Burnett is a machine. I'm telling you, he's a machine that makes it happen for all. And people, no one on this platform am I hyping up. When you hear them, you will see. So I'm honored to be with the best of civility in action around the world.
Wow, wow, wow. Listen, folks, all I can tell you is that you're in for an extreme treat. Today is going to be a day like none other. What do I mean by that? We're going to be discussing things that you have never heard of before. Now, at this particular time, I want to make sure if you are on the live feed, you can go ahead and like it, you can go ahead and share it, and you can start a watch party all by yourself. We've got people from all around the globe. Listen, today we will discuss the state of civility in the areas of youth, family, female, business, entrepreneurship, and globally. So get ready. I challenge you to get your pens, your pads ready because it is about to be on. Are you?
Come on, somebody. Let's make this happen. Make it happen
right now. I've seen many things go viral, but now is the time to set up, get up, prepare your pen and your pad, and get ready, folks. I am super excited. I hope you are too. We're going to see if we can bring our first panelist on, Dr. Juma. Let me see if I can get him in on the screen here. Dr. Juma, can you hear us, sir? We know you're chiming in from, let's go, can't mute. We need him to unmute that. Let's see, Dr. Juma, can you hear us? Okay. Let's see. Dr. Juma, are you in? Not a problem. Not a problem. We're going to go ahead and go to Dr. Rebecca. We'll come back to Dr. Juma. Dr. Rebecca is going to be talking with us on the standpoint of family civility. As we look at the state of civility now, we need to cover civility in every single area of our lives. Dr. Rebecca, how are you doing today?
I am great. Thank you so much for including me on today. It's exciting, and what you're doing is amazing work because it is 360. Civility needs to be a complete 360, not 180, but 360.
Wow, wow, wow. Listen, you're in for a treat. I'm telling you, Dr. Rebecca is hailing from Jamaica, and she's making great things happen in Jamaica. Now, as we talk about the state of civility, please, Dr. Rebecca, if you would, I want you to talk to the listening audience from multiple platforms. Before we get started, number one, if I were to ask you this question, I want to see how you would respond so that the world would be put on notice. Now, the question is going to be stated a little bit differently, but I want you to pick up what I'm putting down. Share with us, the world, what makes you an authority in your industry, family civility.
Many years, without putting an age on myself, of experience with family. Now, Jamaica, which I hail from proudly, our nation's motto is out of many, one people.
Come on now.
And the book that I've written with the youth leader of Civility, Elizabeth Curley, is Out of Many Families, One Nation. I am blessed to grow up in a culture where we had 4 distinctive cultures blend and amalgamate in our own culture. I think that's why everybody relates to the Jamaican culture, because we have Indian, Chinese, European, and African, and we all mix together like a blender. And we all accept each other. I mean, I love food. So when I explain the Jamaican culture, I talk about our national dish, which is ackee and saltfish.
Watch it now, watch it.
And when you look at just our food, ackee comes from Africa. The saltfish comes from Europe, and all the spices come from India and China. And what's beautiful is we make a dish out of it.
Yes.
So when it comes to family, we have all different family types. We have all different makeups. We have foster families, but yet we come from a very colonialized, conservative, very religious, not spiritual, but religious country. And what happens is we still accept mother, father, children. And being on several boards in Jamaica, I was very honored to be chosen because I had a radio show for parenting for 8 years. The first of its kind in Jamaica, and continued to be. And I learned so much from my callers, from the people I dealt with. I was on the child protection board. I was on the early childhood board. So I was in youth empowerment. And what happened is all my experiences that God had given me from day one to now. And I went through an abuse. I went through a hard marriage. I went through starting over several times. And the support of family, both emotionally and financially, helped me to understand what family truly is. And that a lot of our social problems come from the fact that one household has many social problems. And I'm not belittling any body in any way, because we take on social problems due to our own experience. And we want to help human trafficking, which is extremely important. We want to help poverty, which is all the 17 goals are all very important. But imagine a household that experiences a minimum of 6 to 7 of those goals that they need to improve. So what the Family Institute has done, and what I've done as a founder of the Institute, is actually developed a curriculum to train community members to help a household, to empower them through a strength-based approach, because I'm also a registered social worker, where they empower the household to create their own sustainable goals. So so they go in, they see all the social problems a household may have. They do not judge. They accept every household, whether it's a single parent, foster parent, blended family, LGBTQ plus family. It doesn't matter what type of family. It is what you as a household can do to solve your own social problems. And then if you solve the household and the family, then you create stability in a nation, because it's the primary group of any nation.
Wow. My God, my God. Come on, Sir Clyde Rivers.
This is so powerful, because what Dr. Rebecca understands, she understands the power of the 7.8 billion people in the world. And she understands what, and by the way, she's one of the brilliant minds of, man, you ever get a chance to talk to her, bring a notepad and pen, and she will have more information. And this is why she's the founder of Family Civility Day, which is a worldwide day. And yes, there is no greater voice. And she's been through so much. So her information is experiential and academic. So she's a blend of it all. And Dr. Harper, we're honored to have your knowledge and your information coming into our civility world. Man, Dr. V, over to you, sir.
My. How do you follow up with something as profound as what Dr. Rebecca has just put down? As you all know, I make a statement. Are you picking up what Dr. Rebecca is actually putting down? Because these are what I call jaw-dropping nuggets that we are sharing with you today. And this is what I love about the entire piece, folks. I don't care what part of the planet you are on. Every one of these civility industries will apply to you. So don't tune out. Tune in. Get ready, because it's about to get even better. So way to go. I love the way that you answered that, and how much information and impartation you gave in just one question. I have more questions, of course, but I want to make sure that the world hears your voice. Let me ask you this way. How do you think civility will impact your specific craft and industry as we move forward in this new era?
Civility is, do unto others. It's a golden rule. Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. And a lot of families, unfortunately, are being headed, or parents have been broken. And I kind of put a little extra thing. How can you love others if you don't love yourself? And we have a lot of damaged children who have become damaged adults, who have become damaged parents. So we can't just help and be civil to the kids and say, oh, it's our future. We have to be civil to the parents too and help them through this.
Come on now.
Because the parents, we love to point fingers. We love to point, and I even talk about education and civility as well. The teachers, I've done it where the teachers point the fingers to the parents and the parents point the fingers to no, we need to be civil. In my show, I came up with teachers and parents. Teachers are our parent partners, right? And if we don't partner with them and be civil with them and respect their role in our children's life, right? And respect them as our partners.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And this is where it comes to, I'll say it straight up. If my children have a bad night and I know they're going to school in the morning, I email or I WhatsApp my teacher and say, heads up, he ain't coming in happy today. And that's being civil to my children's teacher, because
really
guess what?
Yes.
Suppose they didn't know, they would do something not knowing, and then they would have a child in their classroom that they've not known even more. It's like salt in a wound. So that is being civil to even our teachers as parents. And then don't talk about divorce.
Come on now.
So civility needs to be put into divorce and parenting when you're not together. Because, and that's it. Our justice system. What I do, one of my courses within the family civility workers curriculum is supportive counseling through divorce. And one of the thing I'm advocating for is that families go through counseling, the entire family, children and parents included. And the counselor writes a report to the judge and says, this is what the entire family came about. Because it's usually about parents and who wants to win, and then you have lawyers in who want to win. And I've been through it, and you know what? One parent may win, but the children always lose.
That's phenomenal.
And you have to bring civility back in, so that parents, when the parents see that they can be civil with each other, and you can't ask them to be civil if the structure isn't civil.
This is good. This is good.
Man, that's really great.
You all are picking up what Dr. Rebecca is putting down, folks. I believe there's an industry. There's an untapped industry. We have family civility, but now we have to look at relational civility, because relationships matter. Relationships from every form of the family. The family is the number one unit that, if tore down, the world goes. And that's what I'll say.
Wow. Well, and Dr. Burnett, I want to add something. This actual virus has brought everything back to the most important unit, the family. Everyone's at home. This is giving homes an indicator of what they built. Now it's time. And the reason why I love family civility so much is it is a reconstruction process of dialogue. And it helps people begin to understand how to, because let me tell you, the big challenge in the world is this: people look for perfection, but life is process. So they will go to a counseling session, they'll get some information, and it's good, but it's perfect. And I'm like, no, tell these people, here's the goal. You're walking here. I mean, you're going to be good for 2 days. Then after that, when they blow it, other one says, see, I told you didn't change. And they go right back to square one because no one taught the process of change.
Wow.
So see, and this is a powerful tool as people win and lose. And we have to make sure, and this is why Dr. Harper, I'm telling you, she is the cutting edge voice in this narrative in the world. And those of you watching around the world, I don't highly recommend, I recommend her for your country, for the top and the bottom and all the in between. Because if you ever meet her, she treats every single person in the world with kindness and generosity. I've been with her. I've seen it. She serves. So Dr. V, she's truly an example of this.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Family civility. That's what we've been talking about thus far. I hope that you're taking notes. And again, if you are watching this show, I challenge you to share it out. I challenge you to do a watch party because there are people around the globe who need to hear this message. Dr. Rebecca, now we're going to get into the meat of things. I want to ask you to share at least two solutions that you believe can help others in the family civility unit.
Well, definitely we have to look at, it's amazing that female empowerment is happening. And the family civility, as you see the logo above my head, is all about the 17 sustainable development goals. Peace is the number one in order to achieve all of them. Whenever you need, and how do you get peace? Is through civility. Well, we have a lot of structure, domestic violence or it's now called intimate partner violence, is a huge problem, especially now with COVID-19, with a lot of stress. And research by the University of Dublin did a few case studies in Africa, and they did great strides in countries like Kenya and Uganda and Gambia about empowering women. However, the men could not handle the female empowerment. They didn't know how to handle it. They were forgotten. And this is where I'm coming from. You cannot help one member of the family and forget the rest of them. You help the youth, they still go home. And I work a lot with at-risk youth and in the Youth Justice Department here in Canada as well. And what happens is you're working with the youth in the day, but where do they go? They go back to the problems at home. We have to take the household, and the curriculum that I teach trains community members to knock on the household door and treat the household in their own home and bring civility into the home.
It's really good.
And it's a 1-year program.
All right.
What happens is we need to bring it door to door. If the politicians can do it door to door, so can civility.
It's really good.
Bringing civility door to
door. From shore to shore. From door to door. From shore to shore.
Listen, no matter how you have to do it, plane, train, automobile, foot, bicycle, tricycle,
Facebook Live,
wheel, whatever it is, we're going to get civility to your door. So I love that concept, Dr. Rebecca, because this is the thing that most people do not think about. Now, in a time that we're living in, so this is the first solution, but I just want to give a little bit more on that. From the time that we are living in right now, most people have recognized how significant and important our teachers really are, because now parents have become teachers at home, and that is not easy.
You're ready.
So now they are ready to support the teachers in the way that they should be supported. But you hit on a very, very important part. And as you are listening worldwide, I want you to pick up what Dr. Rebecca is putting down. We must be civil one to another. And when we look at civility in the classroom, there's only one teacher and oftentimes 32 100, 200, 500 in a day students. You have to be civil towards the teacher by giving them enough information so that they can make the right decisions for your child. I hope that you all are hearing what we're saying today.
And be careful what you say about your child's teacher at home.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you speak badly, just like if you speak badly about a parent, you cannot speak badly about the teacher at home because the child hears it. Trust me, walls have ears when you have children. You have to be very careful what you say.
Yes, yes,
because
yes.
I can tell you, I have seen teachers. I mean, I come from a culture where we rile up with our teachers if they upset our child. Sorry, I get into my battle. And, you know, we have to stop doing that. We have to say, no, I'm very proud that my son will speak to another child in his class and say, why are you disrespecting the teacher?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Right?
this
I'm
is
very
good.
And we as parents, now we talk about a parent partner, we as parents, we're in charge of the emotional support. We're in charge of their social, emotional, spiritual, and mental support. The teacher's in charge of the education. So if we do not send our child in the right state of mind to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
True.
if they're not in the right state of mind, at least be civil to the teacher to say, hey, this is what's coming into your classroom today.
Wow.
Can you help me? I have partnered with my teachers. My son, I have male teachers for my son, and I focus on that as a single mom. And
Yes.
I will email them and say, listen, my son's not doing something. I think something's up with him. Maybe he'll talk to you. Can you see if you can talk to him and see what's up? And we partner.
This is good. You know what, Professor Burnett, we are creating another culture. Let me tell you what Dr. Harper is talking about. She's talking about another culture. So the old education culture was a certain way, but the culture has changed. And what happens is that we have to begin to create new cultures. And this is why the experts we have here, we have to drive new cultures. You know, let me tell you, people don't know what they don't know. So the education of the family is one of the critical things to help people understand that we're all working on the same team. No one's against you. But what I'm talking about is this is why the state of civility right now is so vital. And this is why I'm pushing everything right now, because when the world opens back up, there has to be another narrative because it won't go back to the same. So if we aren't loaded and ready to go with our new narrative, we won't. And hear this, and this is a point I want to make also. I don't care how digital you become, 7.8 billion people live somewhere. 7.8 billion people live in some home somewhere in some country. So you can have the biggest platforms you want. 7.8 billion people in the world will have to have training in civility. Because at the end of the day, if you don't take care of 7.8 billion people, they will break your digital system. They will crush it. So you can't leave this component out of a digital age. Well, I won't have to see people. Somebody will see those people. 7.8 billion people will be seen and will be heard.
Yes.
So this is why we have to create the new narratives. The new narrative is what we're talking about right now.
And show civility to different families, because you said, Dr. Rivers, culture, this is a change of culture, and the culture has changed. However, it's actually families that have changed. A child cannot made to feel bad about themselves because they come from a single parent home. A child should not be made to feel bad about themselves because they come from an LGBTQ home. Right? And teachers have to stop saying, well, making it as an excuse. You know what I mean? You can't make it as an excuse. It has to be a situation like, oh, he comes from a single parent home. Oh, that's why. Or she comes from a single, that's why. No. A
Wow.
single parent home is just as good as a double parent home.
You better believe it.
Put the systems in place. I know I'm a single mom. My son is in Boy Scouts. My daughter's in Girl Scouts. I find a positive male role model for my son. It is my brother. It is his big brother, right? You can have a functional, amazing child from any type of home, and we have to be civil to all family types, because guess what? There is no one family type anymore.
That is extremely good. Listen, we can go on, and that's why you have these civility leaders on the line today. I want to get to the second solution that you're going to offer from Family Civility, Dr. Rebecca, and we're going to go to the last question after that. The second solution that you would provide to the world for family civility.
The second solution is exactly that, is the curriculum as well, bringing civility door to door, but as a parent, advocating for your children, but receiving and advocating for yourself. We teach our children through example. And if you are hurting inside, so the solution is having a reactive, we have a reactive but a proactive approach to civility and to social problems. The proactive approach to social problems is youth and children and early childhood, but our reactive, we still have to acknowledge that we have young men who have been brought up by single mothers who had no fathers, who had a negative upbringing, that need that positive upbuilding just as much as women need empowerment, so do men, right? And the older brothers. We have to look at a holistic approach to civility, reactive as well as proactive. You can't have one without the other.
That's good.
Love it. Love it. This is absolutely phenomenal. Listen, folks, again, I want to make sure that you guys are picking up what Dr. Rebecca is putting down. Make sure that you're commenting in the chat. If you have questions or anything like that, we will get back to those. Dr. Rebecca, I want to ask you this last question. And this one it's a broad and general question, but it is very, very timely. What would a civil world look like? In your eyes, from Family Civility, what would a civil world look like?
Interpersonal communication, where we not only appreciate what we're saying, but we actually acknowledge what is being heard. Different perspectives are huge in a family. My own family, my sister, we can have the same incident, but because she's 8 years older than me, she'll have a completely different perspective of what happened than I will. My children, after what has happened in our lives, I did the ACEs assessment, which is a childhood trauma assessment, which I actually teach in the curriculum. I had to be very careful when I purposely did it on my children, because their memories of what happened in the past 7 years were completely different to my memories, and they were completely different to each other. The civility to me of what it's going to look like is being civil to everybody's perspective.
Wow.
Appreciating everybody's perspective and saying, you're not rewriting my history, but I appreciate your history.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen,
dropping the mic.
Gasoline.
Boom.
Dropped the mic.
There it is.
Dropped.
There it
gasoline
is.
Thrown. Don't put a match down yet.
Yes, indeed.
You're on fire.
You are fire, Rebecca. Blessings, peace, and productivity to you. We are super excited to be working with you on family civility all around the globe. Folks, if you are looking to get in touch with Dr. Rebecca, you contact Civility 360. Our email is civility360@gmail.com. You can find us online at Civility 360. Now, Dr. Rebecca, your logo is at the top here. I want people to really understand that. It's not a question, but a statement that I'd love for you to make to the people as we get ready to conclude your section. Now, don't leave us, because we'll be answering questions later on, but we'll bring the next panelist in. Talk to me about that Family Civility logo.
Well, that logo is very near and dear to me because we do need to empower families to build sustainable nations, and that is the statement of the Family Civility Institute, where we train family civility workers. Our family civility workers are placed in the community. By the way, entrepreneurship, because we train them and say, okay, you're now going to work in your community. You can charge, you can do whatever, but you're going to stay in your community because transportation reduces reporting costs. And your goal is to empower the family to achieve their sustainable goals, which will sustain the nation. The family is a primary group. Woo! Primary group of any nation.
Good. That's good. That's really good.
You've been listening to the State of Civility, folks, and I'm telling you right now, it's on fire. My
Bring it,
goodness.
Jamaica. What can I tell you?
Helen, all the way from Jamaica, bringing it. I listen, I would tell you, if I was sitting in front of a table right now, I think I would be having me some jerk chicken and some roti, because what I've been hearing is fire. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Dr. Rebecca, for being on.
Thank you, Dr. Harper.
State of Civility Summit today. Again, please don't go away. We will be back answering questions as they go into the live chat. People from all around the world are watching. Again, share this out, folks. Utilize it as a watch party because people need it. We're going to have Dr. Juma Nushan come on all the way from Africa. Again, thank you, Dr. Rebecca Harper. Blessings to you. Outstanding. All right. Listen, and that is the first leg, folks. If you thought that, then stay tuned because it's about to get hot in here. Dr. Juma Nushan, how are you doing today, my good friend?
Awesome. Africa, it is tonight. It is actually past midnight.
Watch out. We are so grateful and thankful for you being on. Come on, Doc. Come on, Sir Clyde Rivers.
Dr. Juma Nushan, that guy, you guys don't know who this one is. This one here is a world changer. He will impact the whole globe. I'm telling you, his vision, his heart. He's a part of our United Graduate College and Seminary. He's the youth civility guy. And world, you're in for a treat. If you ever get the chance to hear this man speak, you will leave transformed. Dr. Nushan, thank you for being with us.
Yes, my friend. Let me say it like this. When you think of productivity, when you think of business, when you think of inspiration, motivation, encouragement, when you think of all these things, wrap them all up into one, and you have Dr. Juma Nushan. This is a man who thought it not robbery, who thought it not strange.
Come on now.
Past midnight to be on the State of Civility Summit to bring you information that is going to impact your youth life for the rest of their life. So I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to get out of the way.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot that we need to talk about. Now, Dr. Juma Nushan, I'm going to ask you 5 questions throughout this talk. And I just really want you to empower our people. The very first question that I want to ask you is, how do you think civility will impact your specific craft or industry? Now, I want you to hold on to that one. But here's where we're going to go first. Share with our listening audience what makes you an authority in your industry.
Wow. Now, this is, allow me and permit me to begin here. It's an historical event with a golden opportunity to chart what I may say a new trajectory for productivity and progress. I just feel so excited and extremely humbled to be part of this wonderful team that has been privileged to chart a new course after this pandemic. Sir Clyde Rivers, Professor V, thank you so much for making it possible to bring this summit to be here at such a time as this. And the words of Sir Clyde Rivers are just ringing in my heart, and I would want to begin there because, honestly speaking, we can never solve our problems with the same thinking that created those same problems.
All right. Yes.
And I think that's why the need to embrace and the need to have a new narrative all along that carries solution is so critical at this moment. And thank you for creating this platform that we may be able to help the 7.8 billion souls who carry solutions and they don't know how they can translate their liabilities into assets. And I do believe that this is a platform to help them to see that they are valuable and they carry solution. Each of every soul under the sun has a solution, and that solution should be delivered generously to the people that are waiting. And I'm so happy that you've given me an opportunity just to do exactly that. And you began by asking me the first question, which has to do with what makes me an authority in my area of the youth. Honestly, I'm a very passionate person on youths and extremely sold out to see that this generation will not duplicate mistakes that have been made in the previous generation. And I do believe that the place to create this platform, because Civility provides the fertile soil of common ground. Yes, Civility provides the fertile ground for all of us, because being civil has to do with being aware of other people's beliefs, other people's values, and other people's actions, and respecting them without injuring yourself or injuring them. And I do believe that Civility is creating that ground for each and every one of us. And what makes me an authority in my area of the young people in this industry is my loyalty and fidelity to the golden rule, which I do believe perfectly explains what civility is. My passion, my loyalty, my fidelity to the golden rule makes me say that, yes, I stand authoritatively to help the young people to be civil and to manifest all the potential that they are carrying to their generation. And something else that I would say stands out for me to be an authority in this area has to do with my ability to listen positively, even to the dissenting opinions and suggestions and reactions, because this explains what civility imparts in us. Do we have ability to listen to opinions that seemingly are not our opinion? And can we appreciate the reaction of others who are coming from another part of the world? Can we be patient with them? So for me, I stand out on that because I can listen any divergent view, and I'm very comfortable because I do believe I have also mine, which is as credible as theirs. And therefore, this one makes me an authority for that matter.
My. Let me tell you, folks, if you haven't picked up what Dr. Jimmy Sean has put down in the first minute of this actual talk, I challenge you to go back and re-listen, because this young man has given the golden keys to society and it doesn't matter what part of the equator you're on.
And as a matter of fact, my professor, I was with him in Khartoum, Sudan,
Yes.
a couple months ago, and I watched this man. He was on an actual delegation that I took in, and he's truly a statesman.
Yeah.
He was a part of our delegation, and as we left, people had nothing but kind things to say about this young man.
Phenomenal.
And I knew he was something special because I put him in the game on game day. Game day, he wasn't on the bench.
We don't have to get ready. Stay ready.
And his character and his integrity, and I want to tell you, I'm proud to have you on our team, Dr. Juma. I'm proud to have you on our team.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Excellency.
This is phenomenal, folks. The next question that I'd like to ask you, Dr. Juma Nishan, is how do you think civility will impact your specific craft or your specific industry, especially as we talk youth? Because the world, our next generation, our future, our hope is wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up in our youth. So help us to understand.
Absolutely. How we can have impact in this new world that we are entering in, and especially on my youth area. Let me say this, civility enables us to realize that we can share resources, same resources. Civility actually allows us to have what you call courageous conversation. And I think if there is anytime we really need to have courageous conversation and even admission of inadequacies that have so far been witnessed even during this period, I think this is the high time. And I do believe the impact civility is going to bring into our new world is to give us ability to face our inadequacies and be able to rebuild what I may say, there is some lost trust. This pandemic that has come has shaken international relations.
Come on now.
There is when you look critically,
wow,
you can see that there is a global impasse that is demanding a new level of consciousness, a new level of consciousness, which can only be brought about by civility as a culture of respect, as a culture of honor, because the impact we have to bring on the board cannot be realized without having courageous interaction, courageous conversation on why this has not taken place. Now, when it comes to the young people, I dare say this with confidence: almost every nation can admit that about 70% of its population is a young people.
wow.
But can you imagine, Prof? Can you imagine? Most of the time, when you even listen to young people, they are used majorly on statistics, perhaps to start projects which never even benefit them. So they are used statistically. They are used statistically, like here in Africa, I am not ashamed to say there is a need to think about how many dollars and aid come to the young people, but it never translates the young people's lives, because they are majorly used as statistics to get aid, and then that aid has never helped them. And that's why I'm saying civility at this moment, if we have to have an impact, civility enables us to share same resources. We are able to have courageous conversation and ask ourselves, we are taking this aid and this particular money for the young people. what are we going to do for them to come out?
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
God.
Dr. Juma, I love what you're saying because it's true. People have used the young people for stats. So see, and this is why I believe as part of the pandemic, statistics have failed. There is no data that actually shows life after a pandemic. It's never been one. So now is the time for people like Dr. Juma, and he will, to help create what they research next, because he's right. The young people in the continent of Africa have been used as stats. That's a fact. Stats to get dollars and cents, and the money doesn't go. So this is part of what I'm saying is now that actual generation will no longer tolerate this misbehavior that's at their expense. Dr. Jim, would that be a correct statement?
Very correct. Very correct. And let me say something else. You know, there is need to re-strategize policies and align them to the needs, because that is how we are going to have impact. Because if at all we are coming up with the policies, some of these policies I have seen our leaders go and duplicate policies of another country, and they want those policies of that country to translate into some benefit to their own citizen, and it does not work, because this is a different cultural setting with different needs. And so for us to impact and bring change, we need to re-strategize. You know, our policies need to align to the need and to the dignity of each and every person. We need to develop frameworks that appreciate some of our history, because today, like in Africa, I could say that there is a lot of historical cover-ups, historical conflicts, and they have never got a good platform that can confront them and bring healing and bring hope at the same time. They have never, you know, gotten open-mindedness. You know, civility brings some open-mindedness to people, such that they are able to appreciate, number one, their negative history, and they are also able to appreciate the positive part that can come when they are able to talk. So I do believe that there's going to be great impact in the new world when we critically confront what has haunted us, when we are going to engage in constructive discourses. I do believe we are going to have a greater impact as we create synergy to tackle these problems.
And man, Professor B, this man here, let me tell you what's going to happen. After the pandemic, every nation will have to go to its own sovereignty to build their own self back.
Yes.
True.
So the actual aid money that went across the actual ocean is not coming. It's not coming. So every leader in every country must look its own people in the eyes and say, what's the way forward? Dr. Juma is a voice for young people. He will be in rooms with leaders talking about how to deal with young people that they didn't value before. See, watch this here. There's a reevaluation of currency taking place. And I'm not going to get into Dr. Raymond Halal's narrative, but there's a reevaluation of currency taking place. The most important currency of the world is people.
That's right.
But see, people have taken currency and looked at it for what it could purchase and it missed who it needed to build. So this man will become a leading voice on helping countries re-engage with their future, the young people.
Yes.
He's a powerful player.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Outstanding. Dr. Juma, I want to get into the meat potatoes right here because we're talking about youth and civility.
Yes,
I
sir.
want you to share with the listening audience, and this is worldwide. People from all over different countries are chiming in. This is not just for the United States, not just for Africa. I'm talking across the globe. Share with us 2 solutions that can help others in your specific industry as we dive into this new era.
Great. Number one, considering my area, I think there is need for a radical rethinking of our leadership model. We need to radically rethink our leadership model. What kind of leadership model do we have, and
That's really good.
are they delivering? Because I tend to feel that there is need to assess what has not worked and get what can really work. There is need also to have leaders that are sensitive to the needs. Most of the leaders have had the aspect of positional leadership. Now, positional leadership, some of them entered those positions perhaps because of good connection, and they have created a leadership model that is really not dripping down to the to the upcoming leaders. And because you can only give what you have, you can never give what you don't have. So
right.
if our leaders, our leaders today are lacking in certain areas, beginning with, let me just begin by saying, looking at, if our leadership is not sensitive to the needs of our subjects, if our leadership is not in touch with what our subjects are suffering from, it is really going to be so difficult. Even when we exceed from our leadership position, there is nothing we can actually leave behind. Nobody is modeled to come into the position. So I do believe one of the things that we need to rethink and radically take step is to have a leadership. There is a vacuum in leadership. We need to have leadership that is able to translate those qualities to the next. So that one will be fixing a big gap that is already existing. The young people, if I may just say why I'm saying that, the young people, when you look at them, they feel that they shouldn't be intimidated to do something, but they are not getting the platform even to give out what they know and also to get what they don't know. And so coming up with a capacity building which is civility oriented and civility biased, so to speak, will be a great solution. I would propose number one, capacity building which is biased on the civility aspects and values. It will be great solution. And number two, because when we have such kind of modeled leadership empowerment, we will be able to inject positive behaviors. We will be able to create supportive initiatives to the young people in the area of leading themselves and also becoming leaders. And my second solution that I would also propose that could help in this area has to do with establishing a resource center that will facilitate the flow of the right information, right values. We need right values and right information that would inspire and build civility-based relationships. If we can go that direction, I tend to believe all this kind of trafficking of ridiculous campaign that comes from political platform and all that and polarizes the environment, it is not going to polarize the environment again. Why? Because we will have a good framework, civility-based relationships, which will swallow anything that is negative, anything that is pessimistic will be swallowed there. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. This is what I'm talking about, folks. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet. These solutions, we are not here to just talk. We are here to bring civility solutions to the world. And that's why you are hearing from these leaders. Sir Clyde Rivers.
Dr. Juma, in 2 weeks, put together a youth State of Civility Summit. Elizabeth Curley, Dr. Juma, I'm going to hook you guys up this week. And in 2 weeks, we have our first State of Civility Youth Summit hosted by Dr. Burnett and myself.
Thank you.
We're not waiting. We're moving now. And Professor Matthias Matula will be in U3, and I'm going to pick two other people, and we'll do our first State of Civility Youth Summit 2 weeks from today. Mark the date. Dr. V, are you
awesome.
Good, Professor?
Always good.
Yes.
Always good. Listen,
we'll do it.
This is what you get on Civility 360. This is what you get when we talk the State of Civility Summits. Why? Because we are here to put civility in action. We're not waiting for someone to do it for us. We will build our own and we will make it happen because the world needs civility right now.
That's
Now,
it.
with that said, Dr. Juma, let me ask you this last question. What do you see, or better yet, how do you see a civil world, and what does it look like to you?
A civil world? Wow. A civil world to me, it's a hub of personal, interpersonal, international satisfaction and fulfillment. It's a hub.
It's a hub.
Because a world that is civil, a world that appreciates the values of civility, becomes a hub where each person is satisfied because whatever he does is given space to manifest. Each person. So there is interpersonal satisfaction. Nobody, Prof, let me say this. Allow me to say, it's like most people are, have a tendency of being pessimistic and negative. We are fundamentally negative most of the time. But when civility is present, we become fundamentally positive.
I love it.
We become fundamentally positive because even what I don't have, there is somebody who has, and that which he has will be donated to me, and my pessimism will definitely disappear. It's just about appreciating that somebody in Asia and somebody in China or somebody in Africa has something that I've never discovered. And so civility brings the world into a satisfaction mode. Everybody is fulfilled. What you don't know, you are able to know from somebody else.
Listen, folks, I'm telling you, you've been listening to the State of Civility Summit.
Wow.
My good friend, Dr. Juma Nushan, has been talking about youth civility, dropping nuggets. I'm talking about wisdom bombs that will help you to succeed no matter where you are. I hope that you've been picking up what Dr. Juma is laying down, because it will transform the minds of our youth.
Great,
and
man.
when you see your youth being transformed, watch out, future, because they are the ones who hold the key to our future.
Wow.
Thank you, Dr. Juma.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
We appreciate your dedication and your discipline for being on the State of Civility Summit. And you now have the charge. In 2 weeks,
2 weeks,
we are putting together the State
Matters Youth
Summit.
Yes.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you, Professor. It was a honor, a huge honor for me to be part of this particular platform.
Thank you.
And let me say, great things are really happening.
Thank you, Doctor.
If you are able, you can hang around just in case we have questions at the end, but we know that the time is definitely late on your side. So thank you for being on, Dr. Juma. Blessings, peace, and productivity to you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Prof.
Yes.
Well done.
All right. So next up, we have the one, the only. I'm talking about Professor Ona C. Miller, who's going to be bringing the heat in female civility, folks. Get ready. I don't know about you, but I know what's about to go down. And once she comes on, it's over. Professor Ona C. Miller, how are you doing today?
I am doing fabulous. And thank you so much for having me on. This is such an honor.
Wait. Professor V, are the fire trucks ready?
I listen, I hear them outside. We're here in Arizona, and they already
ready to be there, because this woman's gonna light it up. Go ahead, Doc.
All right. Listen, it is a pleasure and an honor to have you on, Professor Ona C. Miller. It is a blessing. We're going to be talking about female civility. I know that you have built multiple platforms, and the world needs female civility now more than ever before. Now, we've talked family civility, we've talked youth civility, but now we're getting ready to dive in to family civility. So let me start off by asking you this question, and my God, it's a loaded question, and it's about to be on, but let me ask it anyway. Share with the listening audience, those who will be viewing, even those who will be watching the replay, share with us what makes you an authority in your industry.
I love that question. What makes me an authority? Can I say first and foremost is because God said so. And because he is the ultimate creator of everything. Yes. And because he created me. And not only did he create me, but he created me female.
Watch out.
And
now.
So even that gives me authority alone. But to add to that, the fact of my education and my experience and my research and as a searcher gives me the authority.
Nuggets. Go ahead now.
Additionally to that, because I am unique, I am very real, I'm very transparent, and I like to just create things that is going to build females. Now, I want to be very particular about how I say this, and I also want to bring clarification to the audience so that they can understand female civility is not female empowerment.
Come on now.
It is female civility is coming in and saying, look, we are females. We're glad to be females. We want to own our position in the world and do what it is that we are supposed to do. We talked about family civility. We have a part in the family. We have a part here on earth. We have a part in business. We have a part in every arena in this world, and we want to do our part. We're confident that we can do it, and we will get the job done.
Above and beyond. This
absolutely.
Professor Ona Miller, I'm telling you, she is one of the greatest if I have to say this, she is one of the great innovative minds it's one thing for people to have information, but if they can't connect the information to where it's to where the action produces outcomes that are positive, this one right here is the one that has the answers and knows how to make it work. I've worked with her. I can tell you, you put her on any stage in the world, she's going to lead it. You put her in any room where there's a problem, she'll be the one with the answers, and the one that can take someone. Put it this way, she can kill the pig, get the bacon, cut it up, fry it in a pan, and deliver it to you to eat. That's her.
A pig. A pig.
No.
She said, why did you choose a pig? Look at her. She said, why did you choose a pig? Not a pig. Oh my goodness.
A ham. Go ahead.
Whatever works. Whatever works. She can make it happen. She is the Renaissance woman who will make it happen. And that's what it's really all about. We appreciate you and your work, Dr. Ona C. Miller, Professor Ona C. Miller. Everything that you have put your hands to have literally flourished, and we appreciate that about you. So let's talk a little bit about how do you think civility will impact you specifically and your specific craft and industry?
That is a wonderful question. I believe civility will help me in my specific task and craft by giving a new definition to respect. Also, I believe it'll help because it will also bring in a whole new depth of interpretation. Because what I've learned is that we can all be talking the same English language or whatever language, but even within that language, we still have all multiple languages. And so at some time or another, we've got to bring in an interpretation. And I believe that's what civility will do. Civility is a tool where we can rewrite definitions. We don't have to accept what we have now. We don't have to accept anything that's given. We can rewrite it. We can restructure it. We can reform it. We can redefine it. We can reposition it. We can do whatever we need to do. And I think civility is the key to that. And then, we offer a new interpretation. I can tell you what to interpret. I can do new interpretations by new perspectives, new thoughts, new ideas, new initiatives, brings forth a new interpretation. So that's what I believe civility will do for not just my task or my craft, but I believe it will do it just for whatever anybody is doing.
Yes.
Wow. This is absolutely phenomenal because most people are stuck at a step. They're stuck in their past. They're stuck believing something from 10, 15, even 20 years ago. And it is time for people to learn how to be fluid. And I believe that female civility, as I've watched you, and this is not even on script, I just want you to break down the different things that you have created in civility really quickly. Will you do that for me?
Yes, sir, I will. The first thing that I created was the First Ladies Global Institute. And that was for every lady is a first lady. It has 2 phases to it where we teach you individually how to deal with yourself, how to lead your own life, and then expand your life so that you can lead others. After the First Ladies Global Institute, where I wanted every lady to know that she is a first lady, I built the Female Global Library, the Global Library of Female Authors. And that particular, it has 2 folds to that. That's where, it's all females who have created initiatives, programs, causes for other females, for the advancement and the enhancement of other females, but also many of them are authors where they're telling their story. They have documented, case studies and etc. And so that led me to also build my latest venture, which is the Female Publishing Group, where we publish documentaries, where we publish biographies, where we're publishing theoretical literature, where we're publishing philosophical analysis, because these women are going through things, they're experiencing things, and it needs to be documented so that every generation has the opportunity to pick the documentation up, make recommendations. They can take it and they can, move forward with it. They can expand it. They can broaden it. And then I also created the National Female Civility Day, where every year around the world, we as females will be celebrated. We're going to celebrate ourselves. We're going to celebrate other females.
Yes.
So those are just some of the things that I have created, and I'm still creating. That's what gives me the authority.
Well, listen, folks, I don't know if you've noticed by now, but everyone we bring up is hitting a home run. So get ready, because listen, the state of civility is here to stay. As we've said before, listen, you can't live on the planet. There is not an industry that does not encompass civility. And what we are showing you, we are bringing you the leaders from the top of these civility industries to show you how we move forward in a new era. Yes. You don't have an excuse. The key is to find synergy within. We are the hub, the only hub for all things civility.
Yes.
And we are going to be bringing you everything we've got, because the world needs civility. And our next generation needs to see us now while we're alive, not after we're dead and gone.
Yes.
So I thank you. I thank you, Professor Ona C. Miller, for bringing your best, as I already knew you would. Let me dive into the meat and potatoes of your section. I want you to share with us at least 2 solutions that can help others in female civility.
Okay. One of the solutions that I would suggest is to just break all barriers, whatever those barriers is: social, cultural, traditional, economical, racial, whatever the barriers are, break them. Break them all so that you can start over and build bridges that are sustainable, build bridges that are substantial, build bridges that are stable, and build bridges that are successful. Then I would suggest, let's do a civility protocol. Civility protocol in leadership is what I would suggest. Some of the things that I would recommend, to do in the civility protocol would be to start, with the heart of the matter. What is the meat of the matter? What are the standards? What, integrity, mindset, character, principles, behaviors, authority, conduct, actions, is it substantial? The ethics. You want to talk about emotions, transparency, morals, language, which we talked about that earlier, authenticity, and different procedures. So those are the areas that I would start with. Break all the barriers, just bust them wide open, throw them away, dispel of them, dismantle them, and then build some bridges that are going to allow us to bring everybody over. They're not going to crash. They're not going to, shake or waver. They're going to be stable. They're going to allow all of us to come over. They're going to be substantial enough that we can all come over and reach our destiny. Not just some of us, but all of us. So those are my 2 solutions.
Dr. Burnett, what we're creating here is these narratives don't exist in the current structures. So the actual current structures have crumbled. So we are the foundation of the new structures.
Yes.
This is why in this season, I'm going all out. We're building everything, because everyone says, what's the new normal? Everyone's saying, what is it? We got it. We got it. It's how you treat people is the new norm. When you treat people well, that's the new normal. People keep saying, what's new? I'm like, manage the human currency of people well, and they take care of you. So what happens is, I believe some of what is taking place in the world now is this. I'm not going to say God created it, but he sure has allowed it. Mistreatment of people has an unintended consequence. You don't get away with these things forever.
No.
So right now, everything is being reevaluated. And my mission and our mission is the new platform to build the world on is civility, where everyone has opportunity to be what God's called them to be. And any system that blocks that will be crushed.
Yeah.
And God's raising up great people like Professor Ona Miller. She's one of the greatest voices in the world, male or female. It doesn't matter. That voice is a great one.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Folks, I cannot tell you how proud I am to assemble such a dynamic group of people. Because what we're talking about, we're not on here just to be talking. We're bringing civil solutions to the world's problems. And what I hope that you all are understanding, it doesn't matter what country you're in. If you're watching this, we have the solution. And if we walk out the solution, we will get to the promise.
Yes.
And you will see what we call the evidence and results behind civility. The world revolves around civility. Make no mistake about it. This is how we will rebuild our world.
Yes.
With that said, Professor Ona, I'd love to ask you this question. What would a civil world look like in your eyes?
That's a great question. For me, a civil world looks like a revolution and an evolution, where civility comes in and overthrows incivility, where disrespect is overthrown by respect, where disgrace is overthrown by grace, where dishonor is overthrown, honor overthrows, dishonor. And I believe that mercy can come in and marry and merge all three of those so that we can have a state of civility in the world. I see, policies being rewritten with only the intent of civility to be the result. I see us going in and rewriting legislation and only rewrite it with civility being the intent. I see, everything being uprooted from the top to the bottom and then rewriting it, recreating it, rebuilding it, restructuring and reformatting it only with the intent of civility being the outcome. That's what I see. That's what I see for a world of civility.
Phenomenal. You have been listening to the one and the only Professor Ona C. Miller. And I hope that you have picked up what she has put down, because this is absolutely phenomenal. Professor, we thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to be in your presence. Continue to forge the path forward as you break all boundaries and begin to rebuild so that we can have sustainability and success for our future generations. We salute you. We appreciate you. Please hold tight, as I'm sure there'll be questions towards the end of this. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Here we go. Listen, folks, I hope that you all are ready. We're getting ready to dive into something. Every one of these topics have already been a blessing. Every one of these topics are relevant. We are getting ready to dive into education. Education rules the nation. And I don't care where you're hailing from, you need to listen. Listen, Linda. Get ready. We're going to be talking to the one and only. I'm talking about Professor Michael Pitzel, who is going to be bringing the heat in education. Professor Pitzel, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I am amazing, and I am blessed to be here today. I'm excited.
I can't hear.
You can't hear Professor Pitzel?
No.
Okay, let's see what's going on here because this is important. So let's get this together as we are on this stream. Here we go. All right, Professor Pitzel, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on just one moment. All right, Sir Clyde Rivers, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can. I'll be bringing Professor Pitzel right back in. All right, here we go. How about now? Professor Pitzel, how are you?
I'm doing well. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can now.
Let's do it. That's what I'm talking about. You can't stop the locomotive. You can't stop the locomotive.
Right on.
We are super excited to have you, Professor Pitzel, on the State of Civility Summit today. I know that you're going to be covering educational civility. Help us to understand. We're going to dive in now. Before I even get started, Sir Clyde Rivers, I need you to tell the people who we are listening to.
Yeah. You are listening to Chancellor Michael Pitzel. I worked with her for 13 years. She's established a model of education that is the only form that I believe will transform this world. 13 or 14 years, every continent, trips into Africa, listening to other people, losing our mentality from we have everything right, and putting together an education system. She is the 2020 Global Educator of the Year for civility around the world. She's a curriculum expert, and she is the founder of the Searcher model and co-founder of Authorship Education. Chancellor Michael Pitzel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on today. It is absolutely essential for us to talk about education and educational civility. With that said, Professor Michael, Chancellor Michael, I want to ask you this question. Share with us, and I know we've already got a piece of it, but share with us what makes you an authority in your industry.
You know, every narrative that you've heard today is fruit of this system, is proof that this works. Because every narrative you heard today came from a searcher who was bold enough to write their own narrative, a new narrative the world hasn't heard before. And number one, God is why I'm here today. And the experiences that he's allowed me to have is why I'm here today. And let me say this, when you hear something from God and you start to move, doors start to open. Doesn't matter what circumstances are around you, what you have, what you don't have, you hear it and you move and God opens doors. And that is why I'm here today. And the experience that comes with that is invaluable. A value like no other. And you can't even explain it, except you keep moving and you keep climbing and God gets you to the top. And even that's a continued process. So that is, I'm excited to be here and let's change the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had the pleasure of working with Professor, Chancellor, Dr. Michael Pitzel. And what I love is her humility, to be so humble, but have done so much. And that's what you will experience as you deal with us. You're going to see people who, yes, we've accomplished a lot of things, but we are humble. We have humility. And we know that without God, none of this is possible. So pick that up. If you don't pick up anything else that we've been saying thus far, is he's the source. He's the number one. So with that said, let me ask you this question. How do you think civility will impact your specific craft or your specific industry as we delve into education?
You know, it's going to change the system as we know it. You know, everything that we've been talking about today, I agree, goes under the umbrella of education. At UGCSI, we believe that education is a lifelong learning system. It's not you enter primary school and you're done when you graduate. It's the day you're born, the day you leave this earth, you are receiving an education. An experience is education. And we value that model. And, you know, it's a system that is different than today's system, because how's that working for us? It's not. And this is a beautiful time to be talking about this, because it's not working and our world has been turned upside down. And so the world is ready to listen now. So it's a perfect opportunity for this. But something I say about education, and it's a different system, it's God's system. And God's system isn't a one size fits all. It isn't, we're training managers. He has created owners. He has created original human beings with original narratives. And one size does not fit all in God's system. Every size is valuable. And it's not about equity and equality, because that's what we're fighting for. It's not about leveling the playing field. It's about, we have this playing field and we have individuals who know every hill and valley, who have solutions for that mountain, who have solutions for that valley. And it's about navigating this world system with the value of humanity. Every single person in this world was created for one of those situations, and we need each other.
So if I'm hearing you right, are you saying, as opposed to equity and these things, we need unique education?
We need unique education that values each one. And we talk about that, but we haven't figured out how. That's because we haven't asked God. There's one key. Okay, I'm going to start going off on your keys.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Holy Spirit, educator. He gives an answer for every person in this world. And one of the keys to success is listening. You know, as an educator, you have to listen to your people. But I call it two educations. One, you have to listen to the Holy Spirit, because there's no other way we can help one another in the diversity of this world if we don't hear God's secret. God created humanity, then I believe he's the one who can put a person in front of me who I've never met before, and I don't even speak their language. But I can hear the Holy Spirit say something about that person and unlock the value inside of them.
That's really good.
So number one is you have to listen. That's a key to success in education. You have to become a listener. You have to become a listener to what the Spirit is telling you, and then you have to listen to those around you. To find the value in them and to pull it out. And the second key to success is embrace the process. You know, we look for perfection, and life is a process. It's an experience. And this, if we embrace the process, the Holy Spirit is about process too. Every single day he wants to walk with us. He's an experiential God. He is a good teacher. He is a guide that leads us into all truth. He's experiential. And, you know, you talk about the difference between religion and spirit. Spirit is experiential. And this is an experiential education. And this education makes room for every individual on this earth. So those are the two keys to success.
Dr. Bell, I have another question. Would you say our UGCSI model of education is life education 24/7?
Absolutely, 24/7. And if you look at the people, the alumni of UGCSI, about every person on this this narrative today, they're alumni of UGCSI. They are living proof that these people walk experientially every day. They've listened. They've been bold enough to create their own system. And there are alumni listening out there today from UGCSI, and we see you. Some of them I haven't even met yet, but I've heard of the things you're creating. And, you know, you are changing the world with your initiative, people.
Yes.
You are changing the world. You are changing the state of civility in our world. You are civility in action. It's the people on this show, the people who are watching, the people who will be on this show, the people who are listening right now, needing hope and going, well, what's my purpose in life? You're going to get it today, because you're going to listen and you're going to hear and you're going to start to value yourself and your perspective. If you listen to everyone today, you heard a common thread. I'm going through your questions, Dr. B.
Do it.
You are hearing a common thread and a civil world. And this is what I heard from the speakers today. I'm running out of room on notes, but they're saying the same thing, interpersonal satisfaction. Dr. Juma said that. Civil to everyone's perspective. That was Dr. Rebecca. That comes when you value yourself. I'm talking to everybody in the world, no matter where you're at, when you value yourself first, and say, I am valuable. I was created with the solution for this world. I was created with a purpose. And when you can discover that, then you can start to look around you, go, oh my goodness, that one was created for a purpose. That person's valuable. I need them. That one is valuable. That one that's driving me crazy right now is valuable. They're really good in that area and I am not. I need that person in my life, or this world needs that person for a reason. And that is what a civil world will look like. That will create that satisfaction that Dr. Juma was talking about. That will help us value everyone's perspective when we start to value our personal perspective. So,
and you know what? If I had to redefine education in the world, I think we have actually limited education to K through 6, K through 12, a bachelor's degree, a master's, and a doctorate. And we've taught people that that's the only learning, for lack of better words. So I got my degree. My first one was in 1986. Dr. V. There weren't even computers. So watch this. I walked through life saying I'm an educated man, but I couldn't use the technology of today. What happens? When I got the piece of paper, I was above others that didn't have it, whether my information was obsolete or not.
Come on now.
So now I realize that you can be a smart person without a degree if you know how technology works today. And I have to come and ask you, am I really more educated than you in the narrative we need today? So this is what I'm saying. We need searcher education because no one has taught us an education of us.
yes.
And what the chancellor was saying about 2 educations in one, she's saying the Holy Spirit educates you to you.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. You know, I learned a Holy Spirit educator, 2 educations in one, when I was sitting in a college class, listening to the professor talk. And then I heard this other thought come into my head saying, isn't this an interesting system? And all of a sudden I could see this system from outside. Somebody was walking me through God's system. It was Holy Spirit educator. And he was showing me, okay, this is the man's system. And this is how I work in man's system. And so I went through man's system, mankind's system, and got that education. That was the first education. But all along that way, I was embracing the process and getting in this education from Holy Spirit educator about the systems of the world, how they work, how they don't work, all of these things. And little did I know it was for today and for the job that I'm doing today, because right now we're seeing that man's system does not work and we need a solution. And I can tell you today, and it's proof today, the people that are on today is proof that God's system works. And these people are doing it. They're not just, they didn't just create a philosophy. You know, UGCSI is a skills and philosophy program. We believe if you have the skill and the experience, you can create your own philosophy. And that's what the people on the show have done today. And what you're going to hear from Dr. Harlal, all of these people have the skill, they've done it, and they've created their own philosophy. They're searchers because of that. They've searched out a new narrative outside the system, and they're creating a solution.
I love this. I love this. Listen, I hope that you all are picking up what Professor Michael is putting down, because it's very interesting when you talk from an educational standpoint to hear this philosophy. We have to rewire our brain, rewire our mind, because we don't understand it. So as we look at the 2 solutions, Professor Michael, that you would bring to the world in this narrative, share those with us so that people, I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. I'm talking about in the Caribbean. I'm talking about in Africa. I'm talking about in the regular United States. wherever you are, everyone has an educational system. But I need you to hear this model so that you are not lost or antiquated. Let me leave it that way. So talk to us about that, please.
You know, in my travels to Africa, I speak one language, I speak English, but I speak another language that humanity can hear. And that's the language that speaks to the spirit of the man and the spirit of the woman, the spirit of the person. That's Holy Spirit educator right there. And I've spoken to groups that don't speak English and I don't speak their language, but I've been able to connect using that other language. And I've been able to teach and connect and build systems for the world because of that other language. And so again, the two keys to success: listen for that other education. Listen to that other voice. When you can't speak the language and you don't know what's going on, look at that person and you could tap into Holy Spirit educator and he will bring you the key and it will wake up that person. And all of a sudden you'll make a connection, you'll make a deposit, and it works every time when you rely on Holy Spirit educator. Every single time, because he's not a liar and he doesn't go against his word and he knows all truth. He's a guide, he's a helper. These are all facts from the word of God, from the Bible, right? So they have to be true. And I speak from experience, and that is why I'm here today, because of Holy Spirit educator. So listen, and we have to listen for the Holy Spirit in each other, because Sir Clyde Rivers, you have what I don't have, and I need what you have, and I need what you have, Dr. V, and I need what Dr. Juma has. We need each other in this world. And what's beautiful about that, when I know who I am, takes away competition. Nobody in this world can do what I do because God only made one me. And God only made one you. And whatever thought you're having right now that you're passionate about, don't think, oh, somebody else has already got that going on. Somebody else has already had that thought. They're already doing it. No, they are not. We need you. We need your idea. It came from heaven. It's the only one like it. We need, Dr. Rivers says 7.8 billion people. There are 7.8 billion solutions with content from heaven on this earth right now that we need to hear from. But we got to listen to one another, and we got to listen to the Holy Spirit to value. The second one is second key, embrace process. Okay, we've grown up in systems of this world that have defined perfection. Religious systems, educational systems, family systems.
Really
I'm a product of all of those. And Dr. Rivers will tell you, when he first met me, I had this false sense of perfection, and it hindered my narrative. And as soon as I understand that it's process every day, and God and his people embrace process, that is huge. And with process comes experience, and it will never stop. When you reach the top, you will continue to go through process. When you reach the bottom, you will continue to go. As you climb up the next mountain, you will go through process. And it's good. Never despise the times of preparation. Never despise the times of preparation, because that is what sustains you in those times. That's your experience. That's your education. Those times of preparation in life, that's your education. So,
I love it.
Listen,
I love it.
Listen and embrace process.
That's key. That's key right there. If you listen and embrace process, your educational pursuit will be that much sweeter. You'll learn from places that you never thought that you could learn. Absolutely. And you'll hear a voice that will be the voice that trumps all. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, let me ask you this, Professor Michael. What does a civil world look like to you?
I'm going to go back to what everyone else has said. It's when you value yourself, then you will be able to value others. And then there won't be a fight over all these other natural resources, because you'll understand that the greatest natural resource on this earth is humanity, is you and your brother and your neighbor. Greatest human resource on the earth. And that is what a civil world looks like, is when you love yourself and you value yourself, because then you'll be able to value those around you. And that is what a civil world looks like.
Wow. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Again, you've been listening to the State of Civility Summit. And we've been talking with Professor, Chancellor, Dr. Michael Pitzel, who's dropped bombs of wisdom that you did not quite know were there, but they've been there for you all along. They're life transforming, and all you have to do is open your eyes to see and open your ears to hear. And when you embrace it, your life will change. Thank you so much, Dr. Michael. We appreciate
Thank you, Dr. Michael,
for being on. This is truly phenomenal. Listen, folks. We are getting ready to turn the corner. We thank Dr. Michael. We thank Professor Ona. We thank Dr. Juma. We thank Dr. Rebecca. And now we're getting ready to go into Mr. Harlaw. I can't even repeat what Sir Clyde Rivers said. I need to get that hardball Harlaw. Is that right? Is that right? We're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, huh? This is phenomenal. I hope you all are ready. Join us, Dr. Raymond Harlaw. How are you, my friend?
I am feeling amazing, and I'm even more honored to be on this platform as not a commentator and not a spectator, but as part of this amazing panel of world leaders.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, we're super excited to have you on as well. Man, we're grateful and thankful for the work that you're doing in Canada and all around the world. It is truly a blessing to have you on. Sir Clyde Rivers, would you say a few words?
Of course. This guy right here, Raymond Harlaw, has created a concept that will drive the next decade. It's civil entrepreneurship. It's a brand new narrative that every country will have to adopt. And I'm telling you, this man is one of the brilliant young minds of the world. And here it is. And I believe he's one of the most valuable people in the world right now because of this. Most of the people are looking to get the resources from a generation that has a couple hours left on the planet. This man is connected to all generations. He's in the middle, helping the young. He's helping everyone. And the wisdom he has, wait till he shares with you civil entrepreneurship. He is the author of that philosophy. Dr. Raymond Harlaw, share with us about that philosophy, please.
Civil entrepreneurship. How did I get into that? For a period of time, I was an employee, and then I wanted to be a business owner. And at that point, it was all about the money. And eventually, I started making a lot of money through my struggles and learning and up and down. And then it hit me to say, hey, you made it into Canada as an immigrant. How about the people back home? How about the people in Africa? So then I started to donate and help out as best I can financially, a little bit of my time, because I got to keep the engine spinning. And then of recent, I realized charity, the system is broken. Because what am I doing? Charity is bad for me and it's bad for the receiver, because I'm not actually giving the best of my talent and ability, which is my knowledge, skills, and experience. Share a part of my mind, my brain with that person, so they wouldn't have to go through that 10-year journey of me learning what I needed to learn to find the actual secret in being successful personally and going further into helping other people.
Wow.
Now, what does your actual concept is basically how entrepreneurs need to treat people. What is your concept of that?
So I believe that there's a new time, a new period now, especially through COVID and after COVID, is that we need to treat, when you start a business, and no matter what business it is, a good guide is make sure you involve one of the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and it will cover any initiative. And when you start a business, thinking that my business can actually fit one of these sustainable development goals, it will make you a civil entrepreneur, because not only are you in for the money, but you're also helping to make the world a better place. Those are the goals that was signed, that was agreed on every nation in the world at the United Nations level. And as we individually work across the globe in our local communities, once we're connected to any or many of these goals, we are actually moving the needle closer and closer to a civil and more and a world that actually will end poverty, which is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 1.
Wow.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, I hope that you guys are ready, because we aren't done yet. So as we bring in Dr. Raymond Halal, and he's bringing in the mindset of civil entrepreneurship, I need you guys to pick up something. Didn't I start this off telling you there's not an industry on the planet that you can't find civility in? I hope that you all have picked that up thus far. We've talked family civility. We've talked youth civility. We've talked female civility. We've talked educational civility. Come on, somebody. Are you picking it up? I hope that you are. Well, let's start off with this question then. Share with us, Dr. Raymond Halal, what makes you an authority in your industry?
Phenomenal questions, sir. And before I give myself self-praise, I want to thank you for holding, for running this platform here jointly with Ambassador Clive Rivers, my mentor. I've been working with him directly for some time now, and I've seen massive growth and development within my personal goals and initiative for my life personally, spiritually, and as I help throughout the globe. So this one man, he wears many hats. He's knighted. He's a sir. He's a chancellor. He is a chief in an African community. He's an ambassador to a nation. He's a rep to the United Nations. There's so many things of value working with Ambassador Clive Rivers, and he will sit here and you wouldn't even know if you never met him before, but he's a man of great depth, and it's an honor to just be a part of this panel, starting with Ambassador Dr. Rebecca on family civility, and Dr. Nishan on youth civility in Kenya and Africa, and Professor Owner on female civility, and Chancellor Michael Pitzel on education. I've had the opportunity to meet all of these phenomenal leaders, individually work with them, phenomenal people. And it's an honor to continue collaborating and working. And together, we're changing the world. And your question, sir, on what makes me the authority. I actually wrote a book that's called The Handbook to Becoming the Authority, with the word author in capital letter. And so I'm not only an authority, but I'm an authority creator. And just like Dr. Rivers, he's more of an authority creator specialist. And and not that alone, I teach others to be authorities in their area of expertise. But today here, I'm sitting on this panel as an entrepreneur, a civil entrepreneur expert, subject matter expert. And I compiled the book. It's called The Handbook to Entrepreneurship. And you see SDT here. That I brought a little bit of physics into it. SDT is speed. Speed equal distance over time. So you can do things slowly, or you can do it fast, and you can have guidance. So that's a little bit of a joke. In what's SDT? Speed, man. As an entrepreneur, you need speed, direction, and perfection. And this book is How to Win in Any Market. As you can see, it's a joint venture. I believe that no one can do anything by themselves. And that's why my books have 21 experts. If you compile the age of everyone, it's over 700 years of experience. I am 30. Somebody's 40, 50, 60. Different age groups are in here talking about their experience, their journey to become entrepreneurs. And I'd just like to share a little bit on what actually woke me up, and it is a YouTube video on a sermon on done by Dr. Miles Monroe, Understanding the Meaning for Your Existence. And in that video, he said, "Who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? What can I do? Where am I going?" And that's really a question that we all need to look into the mirror and ask, not look externally, but internally. And because we all have the solution for the world's problem. And this guy, I'm working on this book right now, Kingdom Citizenship, very amazing book. I highly recommend Dr. Miles Monroe. He's been with us. He's no longer with us, but Dr. Rivers had the pleasure of working with him. And through Dr. Rivers, I'm able to get his teachings, more of a firsthand knowledge on that. Dr. Ambassador Vinny Cochin is watching us. Great man. Thank you for joining.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, one of the things that we have to understand, and this is what I love about life, is education is found everywhere. The question is, will you pick it up? And that is why writing books is such a phenomenal thing, because the book will always outlive you. So as you leave your information in these books, it transforms the minds and lives of generations to come. So that was a great illustration of that. Talk to us about, how do you think civility will impact your specific craft? But before you answer that, I think Sir Clyde Rivers was going to jump in.
I've been to over 80 nations personally. 80 nations. This man here, Raymond Herlaw, is one of the people that I would say is truly a leading voice and the cutting edge of what is relevant now. There's a difference between historical truth and present day truth. This man here is a bridge that can carry people across. He has the mind of the young, the wisdom of the old, and the innovation from God. And this is why his civil entrepreneur, it's the model that teaches the new humanitarian work is civil entrepreneurship. You have to treat people. You have to treat people with value. It can't just be about the money. Because Raymond said something to me yesterday. He said, Dr. Rivers, what value is the oil and the gold underground have today? This day, it's not moving. It's costing people money because it's not moving. That's so right. He said, Dr. Rivers, he said, that makes people a valuable commodity. But see, people haven't looked at people from that way. They've looked at people as a source to get. So when your gold and your diamonds are not producing for you because of something called people. Talk to me, Raymond.
Yes, sir. We've the Industrial Revolution has mixed people up a whole lot, and instead of having resources work for us, we were working for resources, and we can see. I saw a map about 1 million tanker ships are all scattered in the ocean with oil tanks, and nobody's buying them, so all the storage are full, and we see it has went to a record. The stock has went to a negative price because it's costing the oil company to just store the fuel, the oil, the number one commodity, the thing that turned the whole Industrial Revolution. It's costing $30,000 a day just to hold the tanker with the oil, and we have to get back to understand that we, the human being, all 7.8 billion people in the world, are the most precious resource of all time. We, the people.
Awesome, awesome. So let me ask again, how
Yes,
do you think civility will impact your specific craft or industry, Dr. Hello?
excellent. So my global initiative is called I Empower Entrepreneur. That's it. And I believe that's the driving force to end poverty through public-private partnerships. And that's another United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. And I've been considered the developer of human currency. And this hit before this pandemic took place.
Yep.
And you will see the Guyana magazine Who's Who, they featured me and say Raymond Harwell is the developer of human currency. And you may say, what is that? Most workplace had a department in the office says HR department, human resource. Nobody likes to go in. If you go in, it means you're in trouble. Or you go for sick days, or they're always disciplining. And then they got the horse before the cart. I believe that going forward, the HR department, it needs a new name. It needs a new name. It has a bad reputation, but it needs to have the employees come in with their suggestions, their knowledge. The guy in the office looking at a computer screen with numbers. I worked in the warehouse, and the boss. I will work less amount of time, but get the most amount of work done. So the boss in the office loved me because I knew what to do and which aisle to go and get all of the work done in one area. So so what I'm saying is that you need, if the office was open and say, Raymond, how can we improve total productivity? I'd say, hey man, stop looking at a computer so much and come and walk around in the warehouse. And he thought I was the greatest guy. I would work 1 hour in an 8-hour shift and have more numbers on the computer than anybody else. Because yeah, I'm smart, but there's a better way. You need to engage your people.
I love it.
Dr. B, did you hear what he said? We need to create another name for human
resource
for
human
HR.
currency. Yep.
Because what he's saying is that department needs to be the actual human innovation department, the HI, the high. High.
Absolutely.
And people, Raymond, that's amazing.
That is phenomenal. And that's the type of thinking, that's the type of mindset that we need to bring forward into the world. And the people who are watching, those who will be watching the replay or catching it from someone else as a stream, we want them to recognize that all of these areas are important. Listen to me very clearly. We have been dealing with family civility, youth civility, female civility, educational civility. Now we're talking about entrepreneurship civility. Can you believe how much is going down on one summit call? And what can happen when we actually go out into the world and teach people how to be more civil in every industry of life? I am super excited about that. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of the entrepreneurship. Share with us, Dr. Habal, if you could, two solutions that can help others in your industry.
Number one, and I like to go and make sure it's in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. Why? Because I've done a lot of work, and just for doing the work or write a book for the fact of writing a book, and then when I got the book, it was useless because it's like Sir Clyde Rivers saying about the degree 30 years ago. It's kind of not relevant now, and so. Again, the two ways I see it'll work is one is to end poverty, and but through the vehicle of entrepreneurship, we can end poverty globally, and I'm doing it in two programs right now. One in South America, in Guyana. My initiative is to plant 1 million coconut trees.
Yeah.
And that's that one initiative to plant 1 million coconut trees over the next 10-year period fulfill each and every one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. And to start with number 17, which is the reverse order, it is public-private partnership, bridging the gap, bringing investors to the table, intellectuals, professors to the table from the university, farmers to the table. I hosted the National Guyana Agriculture Diversification Forum at the university. Never before has the government sit on the table, Minister of Education, the investors, the farmers, the students, the university, and come and have a civil conversation. Yes. And I was able to do that a few months ago in Guyana, and it's going to be a recurring conversation. Now everybody's on the same page, and I brought the element of, hey, if we do this, we plant 1 million coconut trees. People are going to be out of poverty. Large corporation going to be able to invest in this project and be considered a green initiative, which they're needing to do by governments in first world countries. It's 1 million coconut trees. Once the project is completed, it will remove the equivalent of 10,000 cars polluting per year, all year. 10,000 cars just driving on the road up and down, 20,000 miles a year. Those trees will remove that from our environment of pollution. And not only that, the coconut tree is a tree that bears fruit. The coconut actually retails just one for $1 American, and it bears between 60 to 100 coconuts per year. So you're looking at $60 to 100 American per year times 1 million. Why is nobody doing it? And it does take some time. It takes 5, 6, 7 years to start producing fully and bigger coconuts and higher quantities. But listen for this. The coconut tree lives to 50, 70, 80, 90 years.
Come on now. Yeah.
God.
There it is.
Come on, Raymond.
There it is.
And the coconut trees will actually be the foundational structure because you have to space them out at 20, 30 feet. In between, you have intercropping. So the small farmers can say, yeah, that's my long-term tree over there, and I can have food every day by planting cash crops and vegetable in their backyard.
Absolutely.
Do you understand why this man? Do you understand why, Dr. V?
Absolutely.
You see why this man with civil entrepreneurship is a voice to change the world.
Yes, yes, yes. This is phenomenal, folks. Listen, this is what it's all about. It's about changing the mind. You heard about the searcher mentality. Well, you see it now in action. You've seen it in all of these people. So we hope that you've been picking up what we've been putting down for the sake of being able to move forward in this new era. Lives are being changed. Countries are being transformed. But remember, it starts within you. So, Dr. Halal, let me ask you this last question. What does a civil world look like to you?
It's a world where everyone, and I cover that in my book here again, the solution to the problem is actually in my chapter in this book. And I looked at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Mm-hmm. And the dysfunctionality happens when there are some people that their Maslow's number one hierarchy is basic necessity of life: food, clothing, and shelter. Here we have some companies, Jeff Bezos, the richest guy on the planet, with billions and billions. Some guys have money they can't even count or don't know where it is. And there's some people that don't even have $1 a day to live on. Mm. And I believe that we need to structure the world in such a manner, and the people that can do it are entrepreneurs. Because to be an entrepreneur, you must have had to pass the first level of basic necessity of life. You must have had the next one of education, of a job, and the next one is I believe entrepreneurship is equal to to self-actualization.
Yeah.
And all you can be a great employee, make a lot of money. But I covered it in this book a year ago. There's no such thing as job security, and we see it right now. No such thing as job security. What's happening? And so self-actualization is when you realize you've had a successful company. I sold my trucking company. I made tons of money in it, but I realized I'm a robot. This machine that uses diesel and engine oil, I don't use diesel and engine oil. I'm a human being. And when I almost died in Ohio on I-97, I-75, one early morning, I realized that my health is worth more than my money, my wealth. And then I said, hey, how? I just want to stop this game and start playing something that's, if I'm dead, many people, if I was dead that night, Amazon would have said, hey, we didn't get that shipment. We didn't get that shipment. What happened to the shipment? The insurance will pay them, and that's it. That's all you ever heard about Raymond. But now I'm creating legacies. I've written over 10 books. I'm helping other people to become leaders, but most importantly, the Million Coconut Tree Initiative is just one country. Over 1,000 individuals will benefit from this one initiative.
Wow.
The world will benefit from having a better environment. And so I really want to leave a legacy. And as entrepreneurs, as people of influence, you have met self-actualization. So sometimes we can't just go and teach self-actualization, and that's happening a lot. If you're at this level, you want to teach that. Come on, man, you're not speaking the language. You have to teach basic necessity to some people to get them up to that level.
Speak well. That's good. That's good. That's extremely good. Well, once again, man, you've been listening to the State of Civility Summit, making things happen. You've heard from some awesome individuals. And what we want you to understand once again is we're bringing civility solutions to the world. This is not a game for us. This truly is our lifestyle. This is not something that we just read in a book. Each person that has been on lived what they're talking about. So I hope that you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Dr. Raymond Halal, for being on with us today. We're going to do just a brief talk, and then I'll bring everyone on as we close out. Thank you once again, Dr. Raymond Halal. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Listen, Sir Clyde Rivers, it's the first State of Civility Summit. We are super excited to have such phenomenal people on, changing the world in their own right. And I just want to talk really briefly as we bring everyone back on in just a moment of how this all came about. I want people to understand and see, if we would, this summit right here, the State of Civility Summit. It came about from a conversation. So what we need you to understand is you don't need to have 50 years of schooling. You don't need to have this amount of money and that amount of money. All you need is to have a conversation. And when a conversation happens and you take action, because remember what we told you, we're talking about civility in action. You witnessed it for yourself on the call as we were talking to Dr. Juma Nushan. He did not know we were going to say in 2 weeks, we're creating a youth State of Civility Summit. But it's happening because we are people, men and women of action. So today, as you've been listening to the State of Civility Summit, I hope you recognize and understand that you too can make an impact in your world. You too can make a difference when you stand up and you stand for what you believe in. I am grateful and thankful, Sir Clyde Rivers, for us to be able to put this first summit on. I know that there are several summits to come. You heard about the youth summit that is getting ready to come up. Let's talk real briefly about the State of Civility Africa Summit.
State of Civility Africa, what the vision is. And then Glendon Rudder, get us ready for the Caribbean. We're coming. We are bringing civility 360 degrees around the world.
You better believe it.
We believe that our narrative needs to be heard in the world and will be heard. We have the number one experts for civility in the world because we own the stage for world civility. There's other civility groups and networks, but ours is unique because we're civility in action. So our narrative is in action. And people, what you don't understand is what was talked about today, next week will be in over 2,500 newspapers. I am putting this information to international media because civility has a voice in the world today. See, this is what's important, Dr. Burnett. People, I tell you this. Every person we had on here is a number one. We don't have number two thinkers. We have number one. Everyone has lived what they've talked about, and that's why you're able to sit for 2 hours and be entertained by people because they're talking their reality of life. We are creating a world civility global platform for civility to lead the way. As civility leads the way, Professor Burnett, it's love and kindness in action. This is God's plan for the world. We are doing God's work by searcher education, helping people understand the education of themselves. We did authorship education. Dr. Mike and I, we have a book coming out. It's been out. Dr. Patrick Basinge has created Greatness University. He has authorship education, but it's a different narrative, and we don't care. We're like, you push your narrative, man, because we are just creating information that can go in the machine, and people can use the information any way they want. We have Raymond Harlaw, a phenomenal entrepreneur, and you, a great. You guys are working together. We have Christina Kochicek with Every Girl Wins. With actually Ona Miller with actually female civility, and we're working together. We have no one's competing for the top seat because we all know we're number ones. Dr. West with Biolog, with the communication, voice of change. So no one's competing now. We're all on the same team. We're on God's team. And State of Civility will stabilize the nation, the continents of the world, and we will hit them one at a time.
Wow.
Professor Burnett.
Wow. I hope that you all have picked up what has been put down on this panel. We're going to bring everyone back in as we get ready to conclude the panel today. We are super excited. We know that Dr. Huma is ahead of us, and it is already Sunday on their side. So listen, I am super grateful. I am thankful to each and every one of you for being part of the State of Civility Summit. This is only the beginning, and there's so much more that God has in store for this world. So if you've been tuning in, if you've been watching from anywhere around the globe, we ask that you just continue to comment, that you share it out with your friends, that you start a watch party later. I know it's been 2 hours of awesome content, but this is what I want you to understand. We didn't come to entertain you. We came to impact the world. So if you've heard anything that you believe that you need in your country, your state, your city, or your region of the world, reach out to us on civility360@gmail.com. We will be sure to get back to you. Every one of these initiatives will be a blessing to you. We know it to be so because we're living it. So what we believe is civility is the key that makes the world go round. There is not one industry on this planet that doesn't need civility. What the world needs now, more than ever before, is people who are willing to be civil. This is the crew that has started the State of Civility Summit. Share this banner. Share the video. It will also be on our YouTube page, Civility 360. You can share those on each individual person's platform, on their Facebook. But I want to say that I salute you, that I appreciate you, and together we will continue to change the world.
Thank
Thank you all so much for
Thank
being
you.
a wonderful blessing. Thank you to each and every one of you who have come on and who have made a difference. We believe in you, and together we will change this world. Thank you all so much. Does anyone have any parting words that they would like to share today?
Yeah. What are you guys sitting around for? Let's get something done.
Let's get to work.
Change the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, once again, thank you all for tuning in to the State of Civility Summit #1. This has been history, and if you're looking, every person provided at least two solutions that can change your world. Take note, listen to it again, and start utilizing the principles and the philosophies that you heard. We're grateful and thankful to have been on with you today. God bless each and every one of you. Continue to be great, and we will see you on the other side. Thank you again. If you've heard anything that has blessed you, utilize the hashtag State of Civility Summit. All right. Thank you all so much. Esteemed panelists, blessings to you. Continue to do great things, and we will rise together. We're changing the world, one city, one state, one region, and one country at a time. Blessings to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.